The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Wicked Weed studio. I'm Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene alongside, as always, getting prepped up for the NFL Draft. We will be live for all 3 days of the NFL Draft here in the Wicked Weed studio starting 7 o'clock on Thursday night with you for every pick. And, of course, the draft prep continues to be churned out here in the Sportsocracy. Hit that subscribe button so you see all the 7-round mock drafts for every NFL team. And again, it all kicks off on Thursday. The Tennessee Titans, 7-round mock draft. Let's break it down. They've got the 22nd overall pick in the draft, and you've got them taking a wide receiver, Jeremy, Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss.
Yep, and I don't think he's just a slot. I really don't. I think he can play on the outside. Okay. I know he didn't deal with a lot of press. I know he's not very big. He's very, very talented. This is a guy that is tough as hell. He'll go over the middle, doesn't matter. The more I watched the tape on him, the more I liked him. And it seems like everybody in the community did the same thing because his draft stock's done nothing but go up since the season ended. This is a guy that's, speed is outrageous. He's a good route runner. Obviously, the height's going to scare some teams off with him being 5'9", about $185. But this is what the league is. There's a reason there's so many slot receivers in this draft. It's because the receiver pool is getting smaller and faster. Mm-hmm. The days of every receiver being 6'3", 215 are done. You can't touch a receiver in the NFL now. So what matters is, can you get open? And Elijah Moore can.
They already hit a home run with one Ole Miss wide receiver in A.J. Brown. Adding another one here, not a bad plan. At their second pick, second round, 53 overall, Jackson Carman, the tackle out of Clemson.
A lot of people think he's just a guard. I think he can be a tackle. This is a guy, he's a monster of a human being. 6'5", 335. He's very flexible, got good hand usage. The knock on him is that he doesn't always get set back in pass pro. The pass pro grade took a little bit of a dip. I think he can be coached up. I really do. I think some of that has to do with how long Trevor Lawrence held the ball. Watching the tape, I see a lot to like in Jackson Carman. There was a time that I thought he was going to go to the back end of the first round. That does not appear to be the case now, and he would be a value for the Titans at the end of round 2.
Absolutely. At 85th overall in the third round, first of their 2 third-round picks, Tay Gowan, a cornerback out of Central Florida.
I think Central Florida has 19 corners in this draft. Tay Gowan's the big one, and I look at him as a guy that can play on the outside in the NFL. He only played one really big receiver in his time at Central Florida, and it was Simi Fehoko, who I have going in this same round to the San Francisco 49ers. And, he just fucked with him the entire day. It was unbelievable. And that's the tape, I'll be honest with you, that gets him drafted in day 2. He's got a great skill set. There's, only 1 year in FBS that's bothersome. He only played 12 games, didn't play last year. Press coverage, for a guy that's 6'2", you would expect him to be better in press than he is. His feet have they haven't caught up yet, but I think they will. There's a raw skill set here that I really like. And, the same thing that I've said time and time again, competition level, and he's not a great tackler. I think I've said that about 90% of the corners that are going to get drafted in this draft. If that's your biggest knock, you may go higher than I even have him listed here.
With their second third-round pick, 100th overall, Pete Werner, linebacker out of Ohio State.
He carries that same tag that I give to a lot of Ohio State linebackers. Okay. You're going to play for a long time in the NFL, and nobody's ever really going to give a shit. You're going to play 100 games in your career, and a ton of tackles, and all the way back to Anthony Schlegel with oh God, that was a bad pick. I didn't think I'd say that name today.
Right.
It's draft time. The ghosts of jet picks past begins to haunt me about this time. There's nothing spectacular about him. He's not super fast. You get into the height, weight, speed on him. He is tall for an inside linebacker, 6'3", 242. I think he just does everything well. This is a lunch pail kind of guy, good tackler, got the size to be an every down linebacker in this league. And his hips are actually pretty fluid. How good he's going to be in coverage, I cannot tell you. But this is such a bad linebacker class that he's another guy. The Titans have a good class in this, in my opinion, because they have a lot of guys that I'm like, I don't know that he's going to be there that late. That's the way the mock worked out, and it would be to the benefit of the Titans.
I like Pete Werner a lot. He's a tackle accumulator, and I think that's what I like most about him. In the 4th round, you got him taking a wide receiver, another one out of Clemson this time.
Kind of a wide receiver.
Amari Rodgers, you think he's
kind of a wide receiver?
He's going to go to a tight end?
Are you drunk?
I don't know. What do you say? Kind of a wide receiver.
He's 5'10", 210. Unless you're playing Madden and you're just trying to fuck with somebody, that's not a tight end.
What do you mean by kind of a wide receiver?
He has a running back skill set. I'll tell you who he reminds me of is Ty Montgomery that played for the Packers and the Jets and the Saints.
Okay.
As a guy that can do just a lot of shit. Just get the ball in his hands. He kind of reminds me of Curtis Samuel, too. In that, the route tree's not crazy good. He's not crazy good separating. But I think if you get the ball in his hands, he can do a lot of things. And it's this Swiss Army knife. There's now a Swiss Army knife on offense and one on defense. The one on defense is the smallish linebacker safety hybrid that you can just move around. On the offense, it's the guy that you can line up in the backfield, you can put in the slot, they can run routes, they can do all kinds of things. I think Amari Rodgers can be that in the NFL.
Okay. At 166 in the 5th round, Dan Moore, the tackle out of Texas Tech.
I think he projects to be more of a guard. The tape on him, he was asked to do a lot at Texas A&M. That's a pro-style offense. This is a guy that I think can come in and contribute right away. The question is, what position does he play? 6'5", 315. The measurables on him they're good. He didn't have super long arms or anything like that. A lot of people project him to be a guard. He's no doubt to me he's a depth guy in the NFL that has the ability to grow into a starter.
2 picks in the 6th round for the Tennessee Titans. Running back out of Louisiana, Elijah Mitchell.
Now, this guy I'm drunk on. I just wish he'd played a higher level of competition. I loved all the running backs that came out of Louisiana Lafayette. They had just a stable of running backs. This guy's quick, 5'11", 220, thick enough. I think he would be a really good complement to Derrick Henry. He just runs a little high for me, especially for a guy that's not super tall. He's tall in this running back class because seemingly all of them are about 5'9". But he just runs a little high. He's going to have to learn to get that out of his game. And he's a little hesitant. Sometimes he tries to hit the home run when he should try to hit the single.
2nd pick in the 6th round, a tight end.
This is one of my favorite tight ends, too.
Jonnu Smith is out of town. So is Matt Bushman a guy who can come in and be a starter for this team at some point?
As a second guy, yeah.
Okay.
He's a little stiff. He's an athlete. The thing that bothers me about Matt Bushman, he's stupidly athletic. I mean, just ridiculously athletic. And he was a very productive tight end at BYU. I'm afraid he's going to get a little thicker in the NFL, and that's going to mess with the athleticism.
Okay.
I think it will make him a slightly better blocker. He's not a terrible, he's not a terrible blocker. He's just not been asked to do a lot of inline things. He strikes me as a guy that can fill that Jonnu Smith role. And I think the thing about this Titans offense is if they keep what Arthur Smith did, you're going to scheme a lot of guys open. Because Jonnu Smith had the same problem. Played at a smaller school, couldn't get open. When he got open, got the ball in his hands, he did productive things. That's exactly how I feel about Matt Bushman.
All right, in the 7th round with their final pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, at 232, Teron Jackson, edge rusher out of Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, I'm delusionally drunk. He went to Coastal Carolina, not East Carolina. Why I put that on I don't know. It's because there's been a lot of these.
There's been so many guys.
This is one of the most productive pass rushers in all of college football. If he had played a better schedule, I think we'd be talking about him going higher. He's very, the legs on this guy are tree trunks. He's very strong. Gets a lot of power from the bottom half. It's the level of competition. And I'm afraid that the fact that there was no bend in him at all. He just bowled through people. I'm afraid that means he never played a tackle that could actually legitimately contend with him. And I'm afraid there's going to be a learning curve in the NFL. Being paired with a guy like Mike Vrabel, I think a good defensive coaching staff. There's so much raw production here from a guy that I don't think's even been tapped into. I think you get him in the right system. This could be one of those picks that we look at down the line and just go, damn, how did we miss on this guy? We let the Senior Bowl bother us too much because he was not dominant at the Senior Bowl against that higher level of competition. And to me, it pushed him down about 3 rounds. This is a home run hitter, pass rusher, and would be a great value in the 7th round.
So the Tennessee Titans pick up the wide receiver to pair with A.J. Brown. They also get some offensive line depth in this one. Another great class in the 7-round mock drafts. We are continuing to roll out each and every team's 7-round mock draft here in the Sportsocracy. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you get all of the pre-draft content, all your draft prep right here. And don't forget, we will be live for all 3 days of the NFL draft here from the Wicked Weed studio. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.